Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a tier list of the best point guards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 5,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate your support if you haven't already, if you do subscribe. Just one thing to keep in mind, it's possible I missed a couple of cards. I wanted this video to not be too long, so I didn't put every single point guard, because there's a ton of point guards that 2K has dropped. So I try to just limit this video to the best point guards, and so it's possible I may have missed a card or two. If you want to know about a card that's not on this list, leave a comment. I'll let you know where I would have them on this list. But in general, if a card's not on this list, they're probably going to be C tier, D tier, or like just not a very good point guard at this point. So most of the guys that aren't on this list aren't really worth using, but it is possible I missed a card or two that is worth using. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. They'll help me push towards that 6K mark. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's start off with AI, who is a pretty easy D tier. He's not a very good card. All these cards in this list at this point in terms of stats and badges are very, very good. Most of them have pretty good animations. The problem is AI is 6 foot tall. Despite his stats being incredible in terms of perimeter defense, speed, shooting, dunking, badges are very, very good all the way around. The lack of half brick wall, half chase down artist, half post lockdown, half rim protector, especially on a 6 foot card, is going to be a killer. His size is terrible. Movement wise, it's okay. It's not great. Jump shot is very good, but the lack of size, a 6 foot PG, it's almost unusable at this point in the year. He's just not worth using compared to basically all the other PGs in the game. I'm not going to waste a ton of time talking about AI because I just don't think he's worth using. Iggy, I think, is almost borderline S tier. You could make a debate, but for me personally, I am going to put him in the A tier. And let's see if we can start typing in Iverson again. Iggy's a very good card, though. He is 6'6" with 6 level wingspan, so he's got solid size at PG. Hotspots from everywhere. 35 hoffs include good interior badges. I'm sorry, finishing badges. I mean, catch and shoot, corner specialist, limitless spot up, sniper, great playmaking badges, and elite defensive badges. Even got some of the interior badges like a pogo stick, post lockdown, intimidator, things like that, as well as gold brick wall, rim protector coming base on the card, half chase down artist as well. Elite defensive stats all the way around. He's got great speed, shooting, and dunking. Jump shot is very solid, and then the movement isn't amazing. The Kemba size of escape isn't bad. Quick dribble style and pip behind the back is great. The Luca size of isn't amazing, but overall his movement is solid. He's a very, very good PG, one of the best budget PGs in the game, and one of the better point guards period in the game. Competed at the highest level. Very, very good card in A tier. I will say, I'm noticing I did miss Invincible Ben Simmons, and I intended to have him on here. So give me just 1 second. Let me add Invincible Ben to this list, and then we'll keep it moving. All right, we're back, and I fixed it. I added Invincible Ben. I was intending to have him on this list, obviously, but for whatever reason, I just didn't click on his name when I was adding his name to the list. So Invincible Ben is the next card on this list. He is an S tier card, one of the best, probably in my opinion, the second best point guard on current gen. Obviously has incredible size at 6'11", almost the tallest. Actually, he might be the tallest player on this list. 65 hops, as an invincible card. He has borderline perfect stats and badges. No hop chef, Deadeye, Circus 3s. So that is worth noting, I guess, but otherwise, every defensive badge, basically every playmaking badge, every key finishing badge, and every other key shooting badge. Jump shot is the Ben Simmons release on very quick, whereas this other dark matter, who we'll talk about in a second, only has it on quick. Movement wise is the same as the other dark matter quick. Ben Simmons size up, Kobe escape, and pip behind the back, which is solid movement, not elite, but definitely not bad. But he's the best slashing PG in the game, probably the best defensive point guard in the game. Has a really, really smooth, easy to green and solid release, and decent movement as well. Elite level card. Definite S tier for me. Glitched Ben, on the other hand, is a debatable one, because I have to decide, because I'm putting 5 guys in S tier. Is he a top 5 point guard? And honestly, on current gen specifically, I think he still is. There are a couple other guys who have just recently come out who I do think are better than Glitched Ben, but I'm going to be honest, I'm putting Glitched Ben in S tier as well, because he is absolutely incredible. And I know I could just have one Ben Simmons, but these cards do different things. This one's just not as good. Has the release on quick instead of very quick. Stats obviously aren't as perfect, but are still super solid. Badge wise, same thing, not as complete. Doesn't have all the Hoff defensive badges, all the Hoff playmaking badges, not as many Hoff shooting badges, but still pretty solid. Comes with basically every gold badge you could want, and good Hall of Fame badges in terms of shooting, finishing, everything like that. Been released on quick, same movement as the other one. He's a very solid card. I think he's still a top 5 PG in the game, probably the 5th best point guard in my team. Another very, very good point guard option, no doubt about that. Now, Cade Cunningham is a bit outdated at this point. I wanted to include him because he definitely is a big name PG, and he was one of the best point guards in the game for a while when he first came out. He does have great size at 6'8", but only 17 Hall of Fame badges is just not enough at this point. Shooting and playmaking badges are pretty good, but otherwise he's missing a lot of key finishing badges. Doesn't have a single Hall of Fame defensive badge. Needs a lot of badges added to him as well. Defensive stats are mediocre, not elite slashing, but he does have good safe dunks, which is nice, but he doesn't have elite speed either at PG. Jump shot is good, but at this point, jump shot 80 on quick. You want it on very quick, and his movement isn't elite either. He just has too many issues at this point in the game. He's a very good card and was my starting point guard in 250K, but we need a dark matter Cade to take him to that next level, because right now Opal Cade just doesn't get the job done anymore. Danny Granger is our third S tier point guard of this list, I should say. In my opinion, the third best point guard in the game on current gen, probably 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan, hot spots from everywhere, 36 hops, including elite shooting badges, really good playmaking badges, even super solid defensive badges, even a badge like post lockdown to help out that interior defense. Defensive stats are super solid. It's got good finishing, great speed, shooting, and dunking. A jumper that is very good. I'm a big fan of 29. Not a jumper you see on a lot of cards, but it's on Drew Holiday as well, and it's a very, very good jump shot. Smooth, fast, and easy to green. Quick dribble style, Kawhi size, and Pippen behind the back gives him solid movement. The pro size isn't elite, but overall, he's a really good PG. He moves well, elite jumper, great size, plays defense, slashes to the rim at a high level. Very versatile, just a really good overall card. Denny Avdea, I am going to put in C tier. I do think he is better than Cade, even though his movement isn't incredible, because he has great size at 6'9", 2 off shooting badges, which are catch and corner, decent playmaking and defensive badges. He's a really solid defender though at 6'9" with good defensive stats. Speed is acceptable, shooting is pretty good, and dunking is acceptable as well. Needs badges like blinders, chef, quick chain, brick wall, rim protector added to him, but what he does have going is a nice jump shot. Set shot one on very quick is actually pretty good, one of the better set shots in my team. Movement is not elite besides the Pippen behind the back. It's actually not very good with fundamental dribble style, but this is the type of card you run next to a primary ball handler at the shooting guard position, and he's one of the best budget point guards in my team because he's got elite size, he's a good shooter, he's a great defender. Very versatile card, just not quite good enough to be higher than C tier because of his lack of total badges and lack of playmaking ability. Now, Dennis Johnson is another card I'm going to put in C tier, and DJ is, I mean, he's good, but he's not great. He's 6'4", but he's only got one hotspot from outside the three-point line. So he's kind of small with limited shooting, 80 shot 3, only one half shooting badge, which is lucky number 7, which isn't a crucial badge. Needs chef added, corner specialist, limitless spot up. Otherwise, though, he's got great defensive badges, no half interceptor, rim protector, which is kind of annoying because that would really help him out to be one of those elite level defenders, but he's got great playmaking, great speed, just overall statistically very good besides the 3-point rating. Jump shot 28 on very quick is a pretty good jump shot. Very similar jump shot to JJ Redick's, which is pretty darn good. Quick dribble style. The Ray Frost and size up is weird, I'll say that. And then Luca escape isn't great, but his behind the back size up is good, and he's got decent movement. He's just undersized, not an elite shooter, and movement isn't absolutely like jump off the charts amazing. So when you're undersized, it just kind of limits how good you can be in my team. So for me, Dennis Johnson goes in the B tier. I'm torn with Derek Fisher because he's like one of the best offensive PGs in the game and yet one of the worst defensive. I'm going to put him at the top of C tier, and the reason that I don't think this card is elite at a competitive level, and I'm doing this tier list as in a competitive perspective, not really as much for Unlimited. I mean, for Unlimited, this card is very fun. If you're a good player, you can make him work, but he's just too undersized at 6'1". Hotspots from everywhere, 27 hops, include all the key shooting badges, all the key playmaking badges, and solid perimeter defensive badges, really solid defensive stats as well, great speed, shooting, can dunk the ball acceptably. He's got a good safe dunk, quick dribble style, elite dribble sigs, and an elite jump shot with jump shot 3 on very quick. Offensively, he's one of the best budget point guards, or not even one of the best budget, just one of the best point guards, period, in the game offensively, with elite safe dunks, perfect dribble sigs, and an elite jump shot, as well as great offensive badges. The lack of size at 6'1", though, just kills the card in that area, and honestly, I can't put him higher than C tier because he's only 6'1", and he's just not an elite defender, and that holds the card back for sure. Prevents him from being that next level good. I don't even know why I have Invincible and Hero Weight on this list, because in all honesty, they both go the same place. I mean, Invincible Weight is better than Iggy. Hero Weight isn't as good as Iggy, but honestly, they're both very, very similar cards. I don't really even feel like I needed to include both of them on this list, but the Invincible's obviously 6'4", 6'10", wingspan, just like the Hero, but he has more badges. Incredibly complete on the badge side, elite stats as well. D-Wade released on very quick dribble style with the Wade size of Kobe escape, and Pippen behind the back gives him pretty darn good sigs. Great card versus the Hero, which is the same card in terms of his animations, basically the same card statistically, at least close, not perfect, but very, very similar. And then badge-wise, still very well-rounded card. Honestly, these cards play very similarly in game. They have obviously the same animations. I don't feel like there's a significant difference between these two cards. I'd say the Invincible is obviously better, and he's better than Iggy, whereas the Hero is probably not quite as good. But that being said, they're both super solid cards and easily A tier. I just don't think either of them are top 5 in the game right now. Jalen Green is going to be our first B tier tier card of the video, and that might even be a little nice for Jalen Green, because what he does have he is 6'6". He's got elite shooting, playmaking, and finishing badges and great stats. Problem is a 75 block, no Hall of Fame defensive badges. Those are relatively significant issues. Sigs wise, quick dribble style, pro size up, Kobe escape are pretty darn good sigs. I like the pro size up a lot, and his jump shot is very fast. He's got quick drops off one, which is an elite safe dunk. Also has, I mean, he's an elite slasher obviously, and he's got good size. He's a great offensive card. Just the lack of defense. I mean, he's similar to a Cade Cunningham defensively. He's just better offensively than Cade, and I feel like he's a better defender as well than Cade. So for me, he is still B tier. He just needs more badges to be an elite level card in my team. James Harden is one of those ones. I don't like James Harden very much. I don't feel like this card plays very good. His jump shot isn't elite. His movement isn't elite. He's just not an elite level PG. He's 6'5", so he's got acceptable but not elite size. Hot spots from everywhere. 30 hoffs include mostly shooting and playmaking badges, a couple good finishing and a couple good defensive badges. Good perimeter defender. He's got great speed, shooting, and dunking. Not an elite interior guy. Jump shot isn't elite, but it's not bad. And movement wise, same thing. Not elite, but not bad. Pippin behind the back as well. Shifty dribble style's okay. The Harden size up and escape aren't terrible, but they're not incredible. The Harden behind the back escape, that like Curry slide-esque move, is decent, but it's not elite compared to a Curry slide or a Trae Young slide or anything like that. So he's just not perfect. I mean, he's okay, but he's not great. And I think he's going to go top of C tier because I just don't like the card that much, to be honest. John Wall is B tier. He's 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan. He's one of the best small PGs in the game. 34 hoffs, Hoff fast switch, limitless takeoff, posterizer, really good shooting badges, great playmaking, and great defensive badges. Well-rounded defender with good interior defense and block as well. Obviously, perfect speed, slashing, and shooting pretty much. Jump shot is amazing, or not amazing, but it's very good. I'd say the John Wall release is very, very solid. Quick dribble style, wall size up and escape. His sigs in the half court aren't insane, but they're not bad. He's one of the best PGs in the game, though, in terms of those small PGs, because he's got elite stats, elite badges. Not quite as good as a guy like Wade because his movement isn't quite as good, but he definitely is a very solid card. Josh Gady is another one of those B tier point guards. Definitely a very solid card, but he's a little bit limited offensively, I would say, which is what holds him back. He does have good size at 6'8", solid defensive badges, great playmaking badges, catch and sniper. Wish he had a couple more finishing and shooting badges on Hoff, though. 95 speed and excel, 93 shot 3, 90 driving dunk, really solid defensive stats all the way around. Needs brick wall, rim protector, blinders added to him to complete him as a card. But J-Kid release with step upper on very quick is good, not great. His movement, same thing, good, not great. Shifty dribble style, pro size up, Gady escape, and Pippen behind the back. He's just solid. He doesn't do anything at an incredibly elite level at this point in the year, though. Besides, honestly, his size, which is pretty darn good. So I think he's another B tier type of guy. Drew Holiday. Yet another B tier guy. I think that's our third one in a row. Drew is another one of those smaller PGs at only 6'3" with a 6'7" wingspan, but he does have great shooting, playmaking, and elite defensive badges, elite defensive stats, great speed, shooting, and solid dunking. He's got athletic one-handers off one, which is a good safe dunk. Quick dribble style, Kimba size up, Kobe escape, and Pippen behind the back gives him pretty darn solid movement, and jump shot 29, just like I was talking about with Danny Granger, is a very good jump shot. He just doesn't have the size of a guy like Dick Granger, but stats, badges, and animations on this card are all very good. He's, in my opinion, the best small PG in the game, and I think he does deserve to go into the B tier. LaMelo is yet another B tier guy. We're going to see a pretty good amount of B tier guys out of the guys that are left, and LaMelo is yet another one of them. He's not incredible, but he's not bad at all. He's a guy who, if he had better sigs, I will say he'd probably be a little bit better, because he does have good size at 6'7", hot spots from everywhere. 31 hoffs include great shooting and playmaking badges, solid perimeter defensive badges, needs brick wall, post lockdown, and rim protector added, but good speed, good shooting, good dunking, good solid enough defense, but not incredible. Jumper is good. I don't feel like it's crazy elite because it's a little bit inconsistent to green at times, but he is solid. Quick dribble style with the LaMelo size up and the pro escape are not great half court sigs. Full court sigs wise, the Pippen behind the back is great, and he does move acceptably, but I just wish his half court sigs were a bit better, and I do honestly wish his defense was a little bit better as well. Solid card, one of the better PGs in the B tier, but I will say, he's probably the best PG in the B tier right now, but I will say, not an elite level card at this point. And he's only best PG in B tier for about one set of cards, because actually, I say that, I think Lance Stevenson is A tier. I really do. He's a very good card. This Lance Stevenson card, he's got an elite release. He's 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan, which is solid size. 35 hoffs include elite defensive badges, also great playmaking badges. Blinders, catch, deadeye, limitless, and sniper are 5 of the 6 most important shooting badges in the game, in addition to chef, which is on gold. He's got the 3 best finishing badges, which are fast twitch, limitless takeoff, and posterizer. 95 speed, excel, good shooter, great dunker, and elite all-around defensive stats. Jump shot is really good. Quick dribble style, ready for size up, Gady escape, and Pippen behind the back, as well as the Pro 2 between the legs. Gives him pretty darn solid half-court sigs and great full-court sigs. And he's got pretty good size with elite defensive badges as well. I do think he's an A-tier card. Really, really good option at the PG position for a budget guy. Larry Johnson is going to be our 4th of 5 S-tier cards. Larry Johnson is a card I'm a massive fan of. He's got 6'7" height, so he's got really good size. Hot spots from everywhere. 36 Hoffs include great finishing badges, super solid shooting badges. He's got every shooting badge you could want on Hoff except for maybe Blinders, Chef, Deadeye. And then playmaking badges are acceptable as well. But the defensive badges are really what sets this card apart. He's got the interior badges like Brick Wall, Post Lockdown, and Rim Protector, in addition to your perimeter ones like Clamps, Interceptor, Intimidator, Pick Dodger, Pickpocket, things like that. Elite all-around defensive stats, great speed, shooting, and dunking. He's got perfect borderline stats, and then the jump shot is nice and fast as well, easy to green. It looks a little weird, but it's very easy to green. Quick dribble style with the penny size, which I'm a big fan of. Kobe escape and Pippen behind the back as well gives him great full court and half court sigs. Just one of the best point guards all the way around in the game. I think he's the 4th best point guard on current gen, and I think he does deserve to be in S tier. Now, Luca. I am not a massive fan of Luca on current gen specifically. I want y'all to keep in mind, because I know I'm going to get comments about this regardless. Whether I say it or not, I'm going to get comments about it. Luca's S tier. I know. Luca's S tier. Okay. But on current gen, he's not. Plain and simple, especially the power within one. He's just not an S tier guy. He's going to go B tier. The Invincible Luca is going to go A tier, and he's one of the best point guards in A tier, I will say. But I just want to keep that in mind. On current gen, he's not nearly as good as he is on next gen. He's incredibly dominant on next gen. Current gen, he's good, but not great. And the power within Luca specifically, with only 24 Hoffs, not elite defensive or finishing badges, is a bit limited. He's got great shooting and playmaking badges, solid enough defensive stats, good speed, shooting, and dunking. Jump shot is still good on current gen. It's just not elite the way that it is on next gen, and his movement is definitely not elite at all. Some of the most mediocre movement of any PG in the game. Now, the Invincible, on the other hand, if I can find him, because I know there's 4 different Opal or Dark Matter Lucas, the Invincible is much better. Obviously, his defensive badges are much better all the way around. Does need Rim Protector added, but perfect shooting badges, basically perfect playmaking badges, and great finishing badges as well. Perfect stats, and the same release, which is, like I said, very solid. Quick dribble style instead of shifty. The Pippen behind the back instead of Lucas behind the back. His half-court sigs are the same, but he is definitely a much better card in terms of his stats, his badges, his animations, even with Quick and Pippen behind the back, helping that out a lot. He is definitely a much better card as an Invincible than as a regular Opal or regular Dark Matter, especially on current gen. And honestly, I do think he does go in the A tier and then the B tier for the power within and the other Dark Matter Lucas. Magic is C tier pretty easily. Magic would be better if he had a good jump shot, but that just seems to be Magic's problem every single year. In addition to the fact that he doesn't seem to run in the full court, which is annoying. He doesn't really sprint in the full court. He like jogs and skips in the full court, and it's weird, but he's got great size. Hotspots from everywhere. 30 Hoffs include great playmaking badges, but I wish he had a few less playmaking badges maybe, and a couple more defensive badges, a couple more shooting badges, a couple more interior badges like fast twitch, posterizer, limitless spot up. Stats are very good on him across the board, which is nice, but the jumper is not great. Quick dribble style with the pro size up is good, but the Luca escape isn't great, and his full court sigs are not amazing. The Lillard behind the back is decent, but not phenomenal. He's just not an elite level PG option, and never seems to be at the end of 2K. It's like in 2K21 to this year, he's and this year, not an elite level PG at the end of the game. Even 2K20, he was great for a long time, but it just seems like every year Magic isn't elite at the end of the game. So I'd like to see, when we get Invincible Magic, them change his jump shot base. If 2K does that, it really will help take Magic to that next level and make him one of the best PGs in the game. But unfortunately, until then, he's going to have to go down in the C tier. MJ is the best point guard in my team, even with only 24 Hall of Fame badges on his base card. What I will say about MJ, and obviously the other two MJs can't play PG, his sigs are perfect, his movement is perfect, and his jump shot is uncontestable. In addition to elite finishing badges, elite playmaking badges, and super solid defensive and shooting badges, has every other shooting badge on gold. The other thing to remember with MJ is you can very, very easily find him with a bunch of extra Hall of Fame badges. People have been badging out this MJ for months since he came out, because he's been the best point guard on current gen since literally what day? March 25th. I mean, almost 3 months now. He's been the best point guard on current gen. Has elite all-around stats. The jump shot is the MJ release, which is uncontestable, and his sigs are basically perfect. Same sigs as Derek Fisher has. And yeah, he's an incredible all-around card with an uncontestable release, perfect dribble sigs, and great stats and badges. If you can file with extra Hoffs like blinders, chef, limitless spot up, defensive badges like rim protector, chase down artist, ankle braces, things like that, he's even better. Like, he's just incredible. Best point guard in the game, MJ. And honestly, for the rest of the year, I think MJ is going to be the best point guard in the game in some form or fashion, because he really is that guy. Oscar Robertson is another one of those small PGs that he's decent but not amazing. The only small PG that I've put pretty high is Drew Holiday so far, and I guess John Wall. I don't know if Oscar's quite on those guys' level. Maybe he is. He is 6'5", so he's got acceptable size. He's not tiny, and he's got good all-around badges, good all-around stats. Not really missing any key badges, I'd say, for the most part. He honestly, not really. I mean, jump shot is good. Quick dribble style with the pro size up and a little bit behind the back is solid. Wish he had a better escape, but nah, he's on the level of a guy like John Wall. So I'm going to put him in the B tier alongside John Wall. Definitely a solid card. Oscar Robertson's pretty good. He's not incredible, but he's a solid option at the PG position. Paul Pierce slots in alongside guys like Iggy and Wade because I think that's honestly where he deserves to go. This card on Next Gen is not good. His jump shot is bad, but on Current Gen, he is pretty darn solid. It's a smooth jumper. He's got good size at 6'7", hotspots from everywhere. 34 hops include elite shooting, playmaking badges. Defensive badges are okay. Clamps, Intimidator, Pick Dodger are good. Does need Chase Down Artist and Rim Protector added to him. But speed is good, especially for a 6'7" player. It's fine. 96 shot 3. He's a good dunker, solid all-around defender. And jump shot, like I said, on Current is pretty good. He does step in from corners and occasionally even from hashes, so keep that in mind. But if you are using him as a ball handler, that won't be an issue. Quick dribble style, Luca size is okay. Kobe escape is good, and pipping behind the back is great. So his movement is pretty solid. Overall, he's just a pretty darn solid PG option. Not incredible, but he's got good size, good stats, good all-around badges, and yeah, pretty good animations as well. And I think he's a very solid card. Definitely deserves another spot in the A tier. And then we have Penny, who's definitely another A tier PG. Not S tier in my opinion at this point, despite him being invincible and a 6'7" player. Because his jumper just isn't elite, and that's his biggest issue. Also, no half handles for days. That's an annoyance on a point guard. So if you're going to pick this card up, try to find one with Hall of Fame handles for days if you can. Stats are obviously amazing. Animations-wise, quick dribble style and penny size up are great, but the Luca escape isn't phenomenal. Pippin behind the back is very good, but the jumper is kind of mediocre. It's just not a great jump shot. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And having a mediocre jump shot, mediocre escape, and no half handles for days is enough for me to put him behind these 5 guys at the point guard position. So for me, he goes in the A tier. Reggie Theis. Reggie Theis is really Penny Hardaway, except slightly worse, in all honesty. Obviously, not an invincible card, doesn't have perfect badges, doesn't have perfect stats, but 95 speed and excels, driving dunk, good defensive stats, and acceptable shooting. Wish he had more Hoff shooting badges, does need blinders and chef added, but he's got great playmaking, acceptable defense, has all the defensive badges on gold that he doesn't have on Hoff, and he's a great slasher as well. Same exact jump shot as Penny, same exact movement as Penny in terms of the quick dribble style, Penny size up, Luca escape, and the Pippin behind the back. He's just Penny light, another 6'7" PG. Very, very affordable, though, much cheaper than a guy like Penny, obviously. I mean, you can get Reggie for under 10K, and Penny's hundreds of thousands of MT. And I do think he's toward the end of A tier next to guys like Wade and Lance Stevenson as one of the better budget PGs in the game. BT... Steph is an invincible, and yet I want to put him in the C tier. I don't know, dude. I don't like this Steph card. I'll put him B tier out of principle. I don't want to. I don't know, bro. He's just not that good, man. He's 6'3" with the 6'3" wingspan. So he's got super short arms, and he's got a small player build. 65 Hoffs, which are obviously great Hoffs, but no Hoff rim protector, no Hoff post lockdown, no Hoff tight hands, which would be nice on a Steph card. Perfect stats, obviously. Steph releases elite. His movement is pretty darn good. I wouldn't even say it's the best movement, but Steph size up, Steph escape, quick dribble style, and Pippin behind the back is great. Quick drops off one is the best safe dunk in the game as well. So Steph's great. Like, there's no doubt about that. Steph is a great card. He's just undersized, and at only 6'3" with short arms, it's going to kill him on the defensive end of the court. Kind of like I was talking about with guys like AI and Derek Fisher. So he's going to go B tier because of his offensive prowess and his stats and badges as an invincible card, but he's just not good enough in my opinion. Now, this is going to annoy people, but I'm putting Invincible Tim Hardaway in the D tier. I think he is one of the 2 worst cards on this list, right next to Allen Iverson. This card sucks. I know he's an invincible. He's got 65 Hall of Fame badges. He's got perfect stats. He's got a mediocre jump shot 40 on very quick. He's 6 foot tall. His movement is also mediocre. No great full court dribble 6, no great half court dribble 6. This card is undersized with mediocre shooting, mediocre dribble 6, and no, even as an invincible, he's just not good. Don't play this card. He sucks. I'm sorry. He's D tier. I'm not changing my mind about it. Yakuba Diyara is kind of similar to Reggie Theis in all honesty. He's another one of those guys who's just a budget PG with great size. 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan, hot spots from almost everywhere. 21 Hoffs include good shooting badges, good playmaking badges, and good defensive badges. 94 speed and excel at 94 shot 3 at 95 driving dunk, and 90 plus on every defensive stat. Needs Chef and Deadeye added to him, but otherwise comes pretty solidly complete. Brick wall and rim protector as well would be good ones. But jump shot 8 on very quick is good. Quick dribble style. Movements 6 besides the quick dribble style are not great, so that is one thing to keep in mind. But he does move better than a guy like Denny Avdea, and his jumper is faster than Denny's as well. The lack of dribble sigs honestly is what prevents me from putting him in the A tier, because otherwise he is a very, very good card. But he's a super solid budget PG with great size. If you play him next to a primary ball handler at the 2 like MJ or Michael Finley, he's a card who can compete at a competitive level. And then finally, we have Zach Levine, who honestly I am still a big fan of, and I am still going to put in the A tier because he is a pretty complete all-around card. He's 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan, hot spots from everywhere. 27 Hoffs include fast twitch, limitless takeoff, posterizer, elite shooting badges, pretty much everyone except for blinders that you would want. Quick dribble style, playmaking badges are also very good. Defensive badges are also super solid. Ball stripper, brick wall, and rim protector needed to be added, but otherwise great speed, shooting, dunking, and solid all-around defense and elite jump shot. Quick dribble style. The Levine escape in the half court isn't great, but the pip behind the back is great. His normal size up is good, and his behind the back and between the legs escapes are pretty darn solid. So he's a very, very good card. If you know how to use him, he's definitely one of the best PGs in the game because he does have the ability to get open very effectively. A guy who's pretty glitchy with his release as well. Just a really, really good card, and he still does deserve a spot in the A tier, despite the fact that the card has been out for a while. So this is my tier list of the best point guards in my team right now. Let me know what you think of the list down in the comment section down below. Who do you think I maybe ranked too high, too low, left off the list entirely that you would like to know? All those things, leave a comment and let me know. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.